So in this video, we want to talk about the art of loving your process, or should I say loving your system. I don't know, but there's going to be a lot of brainstorming in this video. There's not a lot of planning, and the intention is to understand the realization of our system. Not even the realization, the reason we create our systems and how to make them actually work, the dark side of it. I wouldn't even say the dark side of it, but the true nature of it is that this industry is broad. So whenever you do things, you have to compare yourself with the best in the industry. Now, the best is those who have consistent result, consistent performances, those who have resources. It's another thing that we traders tend to lie to ourselves about, which is resources. Everything is important. Everything is important. But the good thing is you can design things as you go, whereby you can design your resources for particular phases of your trading career. Now, I can call it a career now. You also have to get used to phrasing things yourself. I bracket out things myself. I give certain functions within my trading space, names and duties, like my goal, account size, account goal, account period. It's not even a goal. My blueprint. My blueprints have that account goal, account size, account period, strategies, the psychology behind it, the element of situation behind it. Why are you perceiving profit this way? Why are you perceiving trading this way? I'm going to make a quick example. For the slow system, or should I say the long-term system, which is growing a small account over a span of 3 months, consistently, gradually using minimum lot size, multiple pairs, minimum time frames, strong time frames, higher time frames, in order to get paid from time instead of leverage. Obviously, this is skill developed, which I didn't want to accept. I was just pushing through the work. We tend to push through the work and we don't give our work labels. Again, label your work, and you forget the path that you're in. That, okay, I'm already developed in this sense. I'm already polished in this sense. I need to start developing that. This is where I am in the scale in terms of trading skill. I have strategies. I have multiple strategies. I laid them out to their best functions. So in this video, we also want to talk about the assignment of your strategies and how to actually develop them. So the understanding was situation. I understood my situation, and I also understood it's not forever. And the goal is maybe 200,000 over a span of 3 months. Okay, the goal was 200,000 over a span of 3 months. Obviously didn't hit the target and didn't fail to hit the target by much. 2 attempts, which was good. I wanted 1 attempt. I failed. I blew the account when I was at 6K first time, which was around day 20 something, so it was, I had to restart, and the account ended at 79 bends, which was good. But again, the stage is not forever. Now, I'm not claiming I have a Lamborghini now, or I'm a millionaire. No. When I make my aggressive trading system, overnight success. No, but really, the development of these trading systems is because you want to be in the trading space long term. You want to have things that you can utilize without asking anyone for permission or looking outside for research. That means you have to develop your own codes within the trading space and be content with what you can achieve. There's certain goals, like 200,000 over a span of 3 months is fucking crazy. 80,000 over a span of 3 months is now attainable. Now this becomes my blueprint. Now when you create a blueprint, you're obviously going to readjust your goals. If you can hit 80K, the easiest target to hit is half of that in the same period of time. Now that makes the goal less stressful and more attainable, and that's what you want. So you can set out larger goals just to test out what is achievable. And when you see how much effort is required, the truths behind it, the myths behind it, then you can readjust it. But the point is not necessarily the goal, but the system entirely. Why? It was to trade in the most logical and comfortable way possible for me, for the account size, for the situation. The situation is small account, but enough time in the market. So what can I do? You have to eliminate over trading. You have to understand things like being content with specific amounts of profit. You have to understand things like once the account reaches to a certain point, maybe 23,000, because that's when I started getting comfortable, you can start risking fractions of the account without being fearful because of how you grew the account. And it reached that amount over after 60 days. It's like 60, 70 days. Day 70, that's when it was. But from there, the acceleration was quicker. Growing it took time. It took time. The second attempt, day 30, the account was at 4,000 on day 30. The first time, day 23, 6,000, and I blew. The second attempt, the account was at 4,000. 4,163 or 4,613. And yeah, it was day 30, which is another milestone I put down as attainable. Very attainable. 4,000 over 1 month. People get paid 20 pence a month for jobs that I don't even understand. And trading, like getting paid 4K a month from trading is ludicrous. It's bullshit. You should be trying to get paid more. It's a $7 trillion per day, not per year, per day industry. Like, come on. The reason we put up these attainable goals is to make consistent profit. It's not to put out limitations, say this is the only profit that's available. This is the only way you can make money. No, this is the certain way. Not even, I don't want to say the certain way or a certain way. This is a definite way to make money. If I was to fund this much, I will always withdraw this much without too much friction or stress. That is a psychology that's part of the trading plan. And how do you do that? You use leverage. Use time as leverage instead of leverage as leverage. Because if you use leverage as leverage, when you lose a trade, you need to compensate by trading more. But if you use time as leverage, you don't need to trade more. 3 trades per week, they stabilize the account. They stabilize the psychology. They stabilize the confidence. So, yeah. Now let's talk about that's understanding how the situation of the creation of the trading plan, where it was derived from, why it was derived from, and why should I respect it. Now let's talk about strategy assignment and how I assigned particular strategies within my trading plan. Now I've been trading since like 2017. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to hustle this knowledge since 2017. So it's crazy. So since I've been trading like that, I can't have a passive mindset in the market. And you shouldn't have a passive mindset in the market whereby you're told what is wrong, what is right. You should have a journal to say, these are my strategies, these are my psychologies, these are my funds, these are my blueprints. And you should be the one to say, nah, this doesn't make sense. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. This makes sense. And that's what I try to do. Because it's literally a character and a skill that's required in the market to be able to make decisions and not be too attached to them because you're trying to move in a particular direction or you're trying to reinforce a particular truth. You know what I'm saying? We trade the same thing, we just phrase it differently. And the best way, the more you phrase things for your, I don't want to say for your understanding. If you phrase things the best way you know how for yourself, then trading becomes easy, because that's the goal. You're trying to uncover what you are going through. Again, it's trader type, who you are, what you have, and what you can do. That creates your trading success. Once you understand these three elements, you can start developing your plan and setting out the things that make you successful or move you towards success. So sometimes it's not necessarily doing things that make you successful, but it's doing things that move you towards success. Because growing that account over a span of 90 days, even though I've been trying this I've been training since 2017. That means I've been attempting this for years before I found out, okay, this is what actually works. So with that being said is that I just lost my trail of thought. Yeah, but you do need to understand what trader type you are in order to create the type of structure required to win. So yeah, I just came back. Success, doing things that bring you to success. Even within your trading plan, you need to create concepts, challenges that bring you closer towards your trading goal. You know, that instead of bringing you away from your trading goal, you need to also be honest about that. These are things I didn't want to be honest about to myself. But when I laid out the plan that in order to grow this account to this account over this period of time, I need to be a specific type of trader. And what characters would that type of trader have? And the character would be disciplined enough to do what they don't want to do in order to achieve their goal and do it like they want to do it. And I started developing that consistency, reiterating my strategy to myself every day, understanding confluence, my confluence every day. You know, and then comes it reinforces those topics that I'm talking about, which is strategy assignment. You cannot assign a strategy if you don't reiterate it to yourself every day. You don't rehearse it to yourself every day. And the reason it's necessary to rehearse it to yourself is because I have a trend trading strategy. The reason it's labeled trend trading strategy is because it only works during trends. Now, the type of trends I trade is not the same as, you know, larger swing points on a daily. No. It's constricted swing trading where it's the daily. If there's 2 touches on the daily, no matter if it's like 4 candles, I use that. I call it mean reversion regression trading because it's 2 points on a daily chart that controls the overall direction of the smaller time frames, which I don't want to mention. So yeah, but I would mention them, and it covers the smaller time frames, the H1 and the H4. They all correlate. If they don't correlate, I don't trade it. It doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing, I don't understand the market. I know that feeling comes along when you come to the market, and what you usually win by is not there. If it's not there, that means real-time data is telling you whatever strategy that you would like to use is not viable for this type of data. And that means you don't need to lose money here. You only need to lose money during the usage of your strategy, because every trade is 50-50. So you should be interacting with the market within that space because you're using that strategy because you know it actually pays. We use a strategy because it pays. We don't use a strategy because it predicts. It eventually pays, like it eventually moves in the favor of the market. So yeah, your strategy should be based on market truths, truths of structure, truths of condition. It's either you're trading a strategy that's conditional, meaning the market has a trend, consolidation, and you use those points, and you only use those points when the market presents that type of data. Or you're trading structurally. Structurally, you can either isolate time frames to a singular structure, singular stop loss per trade, or you can utilize a combination of two time frames, one for major zones, current major zones, and one for entries. And then you use those two time frames as one would reflect overall movement and overall change. So yeah, understand where to assign your strategy. You don't just pull up and use your strategy every day and try to make money because you hear that there's something they called bulls versus bears, or you're competing with the market. You're not competing with no market. The market generates $7 trillion. Whether you're there or not there, it was gonna be there. Price was gonna be expressed regardless. This market has existed over 100 years, so it's a measurement of economy, not necessarily participation. Our general duty as traders is participation. The idea of bulls versus bears is to reinforce and emphasize the point that trading and investing are different. Traders need to react. They need reactive models, things that pay them in the now, things that tell them that your decision is correct, your decision is incorrect. And investors don't need that. That's what they meant by bulls versus bears. They didn't necessarily mean it that you're competing with other traders. No, you're not. Whether you're there or not, the market is going to express economy, price, money, change. There's too many countries, too many companies for you to be thinking that the market is moving for you. It's not. So use that idea to collect money from it. That whatever structure that you see on the chart is true, and it's true for you to take advantage of.